Hello, beloved. Welcome back. Today we're focused all on the lawn. Yesterday, I was able to get out and cut about half of what we have here. So today we need to finish and do the other side. This is the side that's actually finished. It looks so much better when it's cut. You can actually still see some of the lines from where I made paths. You can see I don't cut in straight lines, right? But now it's time to switch to the other side. There's the house. And the other side beyond that big tree over there, there's a whole field that's equal in size, approximately to this size here. Well, we're about to get started here on the other side of the lawn here. And I wanted to just talk briefly about preparing yourself for having a country property. I would strongly encourage anybody who is seriously considering and making moves towards living in a country property to take some time to do some research on lawn equipment. I don't believe in spending all of your money on expensive equipment, but we have found here that having the right equipment has been a very huge blessing and has helped to make this experience much more positive than it could have been. On our property here, we have about 4 acres that are open. That means that the trees are not heavy on the property. There's one here, one there, just for shade, but no dense forestry. There's room for gardening, and of course we have our garden on one spot, and we might have a table in another spot. So all of that needs to be mowed, and that takes roughly 5-6 hours depending on what we're doing. So I'm gonna just talk about our machine a little bit. As you can see behind me, let's get it back in the camera. This is our lawnmower. It's a 0-turn 48-inch deck mower, and it has a bagging system on it. I'm gonna just bring us around so you can see that. Can y'all see that? Yes. So the bagger here collects the grass, and that's part of the reason why it takes so long here, is because you have to stop and empty the bags when they get full. Now for me, that's not a big problem because I actually use the grass in various applications in the lawn. Are in the yard rather, sorry. We can do another video about that, but this machine helps to make sure that we can keep this property maintained and actually looking like a piece of Eden, or as close as we can get to it, without really wearing ourselves down. There are some places that this mower can't get into very well or shouldn't get into, and for that we have other equipment. But for today, we're going to finish mowing this half. I might also mention that I don't know about all other places. I know every landscape is a little different, but here the grass is wet in the morning. So whereas in Connecticut, I would try to sometimes get out early and cut the grass. Here, that is just not an option. It would totally clog the machine and ruin the experience for me. So we have to wait until the grass dries, especially when it's high like it is right now. It got a real spurt after we had a rainy week. So the grass is a little higher than usual, which also means that it holds more moisture. So we just want to be able to cut it down, bag it nicely, and put it where we want it without really burdening the machine and without burdening ourselves in the process. Because if the machine is burdened, that means that I may have to take things apart. And I actually need to get a scarf to go over my face so that I don't have grass clippings blowing in my face while I'm on the machine. Occasionally it happens. Most of the time it's pretty good. Just want you to keep in mind that the more open property you have, the longer you're going to spend on a lawnmower, or you're going to have to hire somebody to do that. And if you do any research on getting quotes on doing yard work, the bigger the yard, the more expensive it is. So I would recommend start doing your research, start getting familiar with different lawn equipment, and try to find something that you're comfortable with. I find that this machine has been absolutely awesome. It's very maneuverable, very easy to use. I'm about to get on it, but at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with the machine. So that's sweat. If you don't like this machine, then get one that you like. Also, just keep in mind, if you're not willing to spend 4 or 5 hours out on the lawnmower, then maybe you want to look for a property that has a lesser amount of acreage that's open and cleared. Or if you get a property that has more property that's open and cleared, you might want to plant trees and allow that to just grow up so that you don't have to keep mowing it. Just keep that in mind. We'll be right back. We're going to get on the mower and get started. Now we're ready to get started. I have my face bandana ready to go, and this face bandana has, again, nothing to do with COVID-19. Even after coronavirus is not an issue anymore, I'm still going to be wearing a bandana on my face. Sometimes when I'm in the yard, I use it when I'm at the fire pit. I also use it when I'm on the lawnmower and if I'm doing any lawn trimming, just because sometimes debris, and in the fire pit there's smoke, obviously, that I want to avoid getting in my face, getting in my nose. So it's just a cleaner experience. I can always take the bandana off and shake it or wash it, but once it's on my face, I just have a problem. We're actually going to start this mower, and I know there are some ladies who prefer not to do this, but I felt like when we moved onto this property, I signed my name on the paperwork just like everybody else. So I want to be familiar with everything that goes into having this property, maintaining this property, and keeping it nice. Not only do I know how to run this lawnmower, I know how to change the oil, change the filters, and troubleshoot. Should I be on the machine and have an issue, I can troubleshoot most issues on my own. So I encourage you, ladies, those of you who are inclined to do so, by all means, get familiar with your equipment, learn to use it, even if you don't do it most of the time. I would encourage you to do so. We're going to start this up. It's going to get very loud, so I'm going to stop talking, but I'm going to take you along for a little bit of a mowing run on this side of the property. And then the next time I actually fill up the bags, I'll stop so you can see that part of the process. I know I look like an armed bandit with this bandana on, but we're just going to work it. Okay. E-brake is on. So we filled the mower pretty quickly. I don't think I even finished a full, did I finish a full lap? I did finish one full circle before we had to stop. And I just want to talk about how I do it. Some people do it a little different, but you can probably see a nice path going right along here. What I'm going to do when I come back from emptying these bags is I'm going to take the right wheel of the mower and it's going to travel right along the edge of the cut line. And I'll just trace that all the way around the yard so that I make sure to not miss anything. And we'll just keep working our way in. I like to start on the outside, make my perimeter, and then keep cutting my way in. So I'll just make smaller and smaller circles around this section. The reason I like to do it that way is if I take my bagger off, pardon me, if I take the bagger off of the machine for any reason and the grass is just shooting out, I want that grass to shoot away from the next place I'm going to cut so that I'm not reintroducing or burdening the machine with grass that's already cut. So the machine tends to shoot the grass this way to the right. So if I cut the perimeter this way, when I come back through and cut the next section, I'm cutting fresh grass. It's shooting over into the grass the path that's already cut. And it just makes a cleaner yard if I do it that way. You might find that you don't need to do all that. Maybe your machine will shoot the other way, and so you would approach your yard a little differently. But for the most part, I find that most lawnmowers shoot to the right. And so starting on the perimeter and just making a nice line around the perimeter, shooting towards the edge, will give you a nice clean path to cut the next time. Just one of my tidbits. Let's get to emptying those bags. Okay, so behind me is an apple tree that I'd like to have some mulch around the base. Not too much, but there's nothing there right now. We just cleared some invasive privets from around that tree, and I want to start mulching, some healthy mulch there to help actually feed the tree so we can maybe get some apples that are worthwhile off of it. So I'm just going to empty the bags right around the base of the tree, and then we're back on the mower for row number 2. Well, they're empty, so we're going to get back on, and I'll probably take a break when we're halfway through so you can see what the yard looks like about half done. And then at the end, I'll show you how I just put the machine away and kind of break everything down. It's not that difficult. It just takes time. We're probably going to have to come back to this tree before it's all done because that wasn't enough grass to cover the base of that tree. But it's just a nice way to use the grass instead of just tossing it and letting all that good organic matter go to waste. But that's for another conversation. Let's get back on the job. Well, We're about halfway done, so I'd like to take you around the yard a little bit and show you what things look like. You can see from here where we stopped cutting on this end. You can see the grass line right there. I'm going to change angles so you can see a little bit better. It also goes over this way. You can see we've cut all over here by the driveway. All that's cut, but over here by the house, you can see that there's a line there. It's not cut. This side is a little easier to cut because there are less obstacles to go around. So let me just show you what it looks like from another angle. Here we're looking towards the street, obviously, and on this right hand side over here, that's cut, and then you can see where the line is right there. That's not done. We'll go around the front so you can see from that angle as well. Hold on. It's not as level as it looks. Okay, let's turn around. So you can see there's a healthy line over here by the house that's been cut, and then all the longer grass that needs to be cut down, and then on the edge here you can see that line there. So we're gonna try to get finished, and then we'll clean things up. I just thought I'd share this as well in case you're curious, because I realized that in the last segment where I actually emptied the bagger, you couldn't see inside and see what that all looks like. So I'm gonna just open this here. You can see I'm still holding onto my other glove. So that's inside the bagger. And this side obviously fills up first, and then you need to, what I usually do is kind of even out the bags before I empty them. They're reasonably heavy, so I cannot manage them with one hand, I don't think. I might be able to manage this one with one hand because it's smaller. I'm going to just move some of this grass over. You may have noticed me doing that before, and I'll just see if I can manage it. Oh! All that weightlifting pays off. So the bag has a nice little handle at the bottom. I'm just going to empty it out here. There it is. Back to work. Finally, we're finished. So all that's left to do is to just clean off the mower a little bit. What I like to do is use the leaf blower. I started off with the broom, and then I graduated to the wet dry vac, and now we have finally arrived at the leaf blower. It works wonders at just cleaning all the excess grass off of the machine. It's good to do that just to keep the grass from staying on there and rotting and corroding the paint and really just making a mess. So I'm going to turn on another power tool, the leaf blower. I'm also using a generator to power the leaf blower because we're a little far away from the nearest outlet, and I needed to do that because I needed some space to be able to move around. So let's get it cleaned off so we can put it back in the shed. slight correction on my part. I should have emptied those bags before I came over here to clean this off. But I'm gonna go do that now. And when I come back, I'm just gonna throw it in the shed. I'm not gonna clean it again. Thanks. Alright, so this is great. Now I can actually put everything back in the shed because I have to take everything out to get the mower out. Thanks so much for coming along today. Hope that what I shared was helpful, and I actually really enjoy riding the lawnmower, so this was a little bit more fun than work to me. Stay tuned until next video, and keep it simple and be blessed.